Hello, my name is Nicole, and thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. Today, I am focused on jobs. I'm focused on jobs because the Holy Spirit says that this is one particular subject that many people pray about. Whether it is about the job they already have, the job that they wish to have, the job that they got laid off or terminated from or chose to quit. But jobs come up, employment, careers come up in one's quiet time. And so we're focused on this because I know some individuals are wondering what is going on. What is going on with my job? What is going on with the future concerning my job? Is this where I'm supposed to be? Or is God about to do a shift? I will tell you there are some signs you need to pay attention to when God is at work, when He's doing a shift in your life concerning a job. The first thing is that when you walk in, you don't feel like it is permanent. You look around, you see some signs that say it's not permanent. When you are hooked up with someone, married to someone, and yes, there are those who are living with someone, and they're going through some transitions that will potentially lead you as well as your children, grandchildren, what have you, in another city or state. This is temporary. You know it's temporary when you see a lot of activity going on around you, and that type of activity isn't necessarily positive. People who have been there a lot longer than you show up and they tell you some things when you least expect it about the job or the job market or the company and the changes that are going on. You know that a job is not permanent. Not in the way that you want it to be, right? 10, 15, 20, 30 some years, I'm going to be here. When you see that management is changing over and over and over again. Now, some individuals, they have managed to ride the storm, and we're not talking about the people who have already put their time in and they're still putting their time in. And their time is in the double digits. We're talking about people who only have some months under their belt, less than 5 years, and they are seeing these things going on around them. It's safe to say you need to be planning to leave in the future. Okay. Too much change isn't always a good thing. Okay. There are those changes that require longevity, require stability. And then there are those changes that no, that's not the direction that we're headed. If anything, we're just going to use the people in the meantime, and then we are going to uproot this business, or we're going to do away with this business, or we're going to sell it. Okay. I can speak to this because I've seen so much happen, especially when I am that temp who's called into a Fortune 500 company. And the employees, it's unfortunate, but the employees, they don't see the axe coming. They look at us like, oh, okay, well, here's the temps, right? My job is safe and secure. And a lot of times their positions are being changed, or some position is going to be done away with. Sometimes they're bringing the temps in with the plan to give them permanent positions, while that one who used to do quite well in his or her position, but not any longer. And so that's why some will nitpick. Some of the permanent employees will nitpick. They will fault find. They will come up with all sorts of strategies for job security because they don't want to be replaced by a temp. But once a company has a mark on you, once you have been so comfortable in your spot and you think that you're untouchable and you say what you say, do what you do, and you're angering some folks, they're working up a strategic plan to get rid of the loudmouth, to get rid of the one who's constantly tardy, to get rid of the one who doesn't want to work with others and is strategically sabotaging their success, their progress, or what have you, just to protect their own. their favorites or their own job. Okay. So these are real subtle types of things that some companies, employees will do to block the temps from being hired, or to keep their position safe and secure and cozy. But then there are those who, they do such a great job. There is no threat. There is no reason to come up with anything to block other people out, because you've demonstrated over and over again that you are a good employee. But change in some companies is inevitable. And yes, there is that season of worry for many people. Is this going to be the year that they start cutting our positions? Is this going to be the year that they start making some major changes where they won't need humans, but they're going to bring in the equipment to do the job? Which brings me to the occupations. There's about 30 of them. I'm not going to get into all of them, but there are those occupations where employment has declined. And there is this anticipation that more jobs will decline in the year 2018 and beyond. Those occupations include agricultural workers, inspectors, testers, sorters, samplers, and weighers, packers and packagers. A lot of the reason for this is due to the machinery that's replacing human hands. Machinists, there's been a decline. First line supervisors, managers of production and operating workers. Data entry keyers, shipping, receiving, and traffic clerks, farmers and ranchers, laborers and freight, stock and material movers, hand folks in transportation and material moving. Okay, there's those that are experiencing decline. Switchboard operators, including answering service, telemarketers, office and administrative support workers. Once again, the office and administrative support occupational group is being affected. Information and record clerks, mail clerks, and mail machine operators, except postal service. Okay, so that just gives you a sample of the decline and how they're either doing away with the department altogether, or they're replacing the human beings with machines, or they're simply cutting back because they have no need, because companies are not going with the paper any longer, but paperless. Okay, a lot of electronic types of things are going on over the computer, so we don't necessarily need all of this paper any longer. Some of you all have witnessed this sort of thing and have been the victims of your jobs being cut. More positions in production include cutting, punching, and press machine setters, operators, electrical and electronic equipment assemblers, multiple machine tool setters, operators and tenders, metal and plastic, the door-to-door sales workers, news and street vendors. Lots of positions have been cut in that occupational group of sales and related occupations. And then there is the grinding and the lapping, polishing, and buffing machine tool setters, operators and tenders in metal and plastic, once again in production. Okay, file clerks under office and administrative support have declined. Photographic processing machine and operators in production have declined. Order clerks in office and administration, as well as postal service, mail sorters, and processors, once again in office and administrative support, have seen a decline. Okay, so this is what's going on, people, and you might want to reconsider applying for some of these jobs, because the truth of the matter is that there might be an influx of openings, but then it's just temporary, and then we don't need you any longer because this is being replaced, or this is just a transition that's going on, and the company is uprooting and they're going to do something new, and we're not going to use this old equipment any longer because there is some new equipment. Now, how can you be a prophet, if you will, concerning your job? Start researching your industry. Start checking out the new developments, the new technology that's coming out. And that will give you a clue as to what the future holds concerning your particular job, company, industry, occupational group, if you will. Okay. Now, some of the fastest growing occupations, and there's about 20 of them, and this percent of change of employment is going to be impacted based on the Occupational Outlook Handbook, which you can see over there at the United States Department of Labor, Bureau of Labor and Statistics, is going to be affected between 2016 to 2026. So if you're looking to do something a bit different, or you feel a tug at your heart in the spiritual realm that God is about to change some things, these are the areas where the growth rate is increasing. The occupation: solar photovoltaic installers, wind turbine service technicians. Okay, we've got a lot of environmentalists that are encouraging all sorts of things when it comes to energy consumption and so forth. So it is a time of taking a look at what's going on in those occupational groups. Home health aides are increasing. We've got people getting older, right? So there will always be those positions for someone to drop by and check on the senior who still refuses to leave his or her home. Okay. Personal care aides, physician assistants, nurse practitioners. Once again, people are living longer. Statisticians, physical therapist assistants, software developers and applications. I mean, really? Are we surprised? Mathematicians. Believe it or not, bicycle repairers. All sorts of bikes have entered the different sales departments in these discounted stores and so forth, and they're cheaply made, a lot of them, and they also come with their share of repairs. Medical assistants, physical therapist aides, occupational therapy assistants, information security analysts, genetic counselors. Interesting. We've got a lot of folks that's headed to the internet and they want to know a thing or two about DNA. We also have some folks that are disturbed too when they find out certain things. Operations research analysts, forest fire inspectors, and prevention specialists. This should come to no surprise because we've got more wildfires. Health specialists, teachers, post-secondary. And then, of course, there are those operators in oil and gas. So there's a lot of interesting things that's going on. And if you are one who's looking for a career change, or you are one who's responsible for guiding the youth, these are occupations that they might want to check into. They're going to be here for a long time. All right. So another thing that, for those of you all who are interested in jobs and the future and God, where are you in all of this, I suggest that you go on the internet and you look for job assessment tests. You take a look at some of these personality tests that are out here to get a feel as to who you are, the way the computer sees it, okay, so that you can be able to pass those personality tests when you apply for certain jobs. They are relying on the computer heavily to determine whether or not someone is even worth picking up the phone and calling, okay, for an interview. I know those of us who just come along during a time where you just simply send your resume, you fill out some questions, it wasn't too long, and then someone called you and you showed up for the interview. It's a little bit more involved for those jobs that are paying more than $10 to $15 an hour, that's for sure. Okay, so you want to be able to pass these tests. You want to be able to show up during that time where an interview is going on. You want to show up knowing something about yourself in a deep way. Okay, you want to be able to sell yourself in such a way where it definitely fits your personality definitely fits the job. And they're going to ask you questions in person to see if you are indeed a good fit, and if you are showing that the test, the assessment that you filled out, it correlates with what they see and hear in front of them. Because I know that some people, they know how to trick the systems, they know how to do some cheating, if you will, to try to overthrow some things. But at the end of the day, you definitely want to have some idea as to what you're walking into, and you want to wow some folk. Okay, so I know that sometimes I'm just sharing the messages that are about family and about faith and about those things that are very important. But there are also those things that people pray about behind closed doors that are equally important, and that's employment. Okay, and all things related to employment. So I pray that for some of you all, that this message just helps you during this particular time where you are trying to make some serious decisions. And once again, take the time out to research your industry, research the types of jobs connected to what you're looking for in the future. Be your own prophet, if you will, and consult with the Lord, and also look at what the industry is doing and make necessary changes. Complete an assessment of your personality. View those results. There are a number of them that are out here. You don't have to pay a lot of money in order to get a good read as to who you are and how it applies to your future personality tests that you're going to take. Check out some sample personality tests, and if you want to look into some information on how to score big and score well on your desired position, then so be it. Look up the wisdom that's out there, as well as the knowledge that people have on what you believe is your strengths, as well as what is also your weaknesses. I thank you as always for taking time out to listen. Please do check out workplaceproblems.blogspot.com. The link is in the description box, and there is a lot of information on the site to help you with your current position or future position that you're aiming for. Also, if you haven't given, we do welcome donations. You are listening to YouTube NM Enterprise 7. Subscribe today, and blessings to you.